To learning with Dr. Shivangi. Today's topic is perception. As in the previous videos, we already started the playlist for the subject consumer behavior and also discuss various topics related to it, like concept of consumer behavior and so on. So in today's video, we'll discuss about the topic perception. So before started the video, I want to say you that if you like my video, please like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe my channel, which is Learning with Dr. Shivangi. Now coming to the main topic, which is perception. So what is the perception? As we know that perception is the basically the concept of observation by any person. So when we talk about the perception, we'll discuss about the observation power of the each and every person and their behavioral aspect. So what is the meaning of perception? We'll discuss here. Human beings are essentially creatures that have the power to give meanings to things and objects. They came to contract different different meanings made given to the same object of different persons as they may vary in their respective perspective abilities. Perception is intellectual process by which uh, a person acquires the information from the environment, organizes it and obtains the meaning from it. So basically perception is the essentially the power of giving meaning to the particular object, particular event or any information. So different meanings may be given to the different perspective by different persons. Perception basically refers to the manner in which a person experiences the world. Perception can be defined as the process by which individuals select, organize, and interpret their sensory impressions so as to give meaning to their environment. Perception is a complex process and differs from person to person. People's behavior is influenced by their perception of reality rather than the actual reality. So perception is the observation power of human beings, so it may differ from person to person. It is the process by which individuals select, organize and interpret the sensory impressions to give the meaning according to the environment. It is essentially a psychological process by which people select, organize, interpret sensory stimulations into meaningful information about their work environment. There can be no behavior without perception, and perception, like personality, lies at the base of every individual behavior. Perception is our way of knowing things and people. So, with the perception, we can interpret the particular object, event, and information. Perception is the process of receiving information and making sense of the world around us. It involves deciding which information to notice, how to categorize this information, and how to interpret it within the framework of existing knowledge. According to Joseph Ritz, perception includes all those processes by which an individual receives information about his environment, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. Perception is a cognitive process, it means it is based on the information or knowledge. In terms of SOBB model, perception is cognitive process which involves the O organism selecting, organizing, and interpreting the stimulus. Thus, perception is the process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting or attaching meaning of the events happening in the environment. The input of meaningful information results in decisions and actions. So, perception is the interpretation of the information occurred in the environment. It is the result of a complex interaction of various senses such as feeling, seeing, hearing, thinking, and comparing with known aspects of life in order to make some sense of the world around us. The quality or accuracy of a person's perception is an important factor in determining the quality of decisions and action. Perception may be defined as a process by which individuals organize and interpret their sensory impressions in order to give meaning to their environment, according to S.P. Robbins. So perception is defined as the organization or interpretation of the sensory impressions according to the Robbins. Perception can be defined as a process of receiving, selecting, organizing, interpreting, checking, and reacting the sensory stimuli or data according to the Uday Parekh. So he described perception as the combination of these types of steps. Perception is the process of becoming aware of situations, adding meaningful associations of sensations according to B. von Heller Gilmer. So, perception is the process of awareing about the different sensations. Next definition is also about the perception, which is in which perception is the process by which people select, organize, and interpret sensation, that is, the immediate response of the sensory receptors such as the ears, eyes, nose, mouth, and fingers to such basic stimuli as light, color, odor, texture, and sound. So we can interpret different types of items like different information in terms of light, color, order, texture, and sound also. Anything that activates a receptor is called a stimulus. The study of perception focuses on what we add to raw sensation in order to give them meaning. Each individual interprets the meaning of a stimulus to consistent with his or her own unique biases, needs, and experiences. As figure shows, the three stages of exposure, attention, and interpretation make up of the process of perception. So perception basically give meaning to the stimulus with the environment. So this is the process of perception which includes exposure, attention, interpretation of the person towards any object. Overall perception is simply the process of selecting, organizing, and interpreting of information inputs in order to organize to produce meaning that would aid in consumption decision making. At the exposure phase, information inputs are sensations received through our sensation received sense organs, which is sight, taste, hearing, smell, and touch. For example, when we see or hear an advertisement, smell or touch a product, we receive information inputs. Hence, processes are collectively referred to as the process of perception. Based on the definitions of perception, we may identify the following features. Perception is intellectual process through which a person selects the data from the environment, organizes it, and obtains meaning from it. Perception is the basic cognitive or psychological process. The manner in which a person perceives the environment affects his behavior. There's one more feature of this perception. Perception, being an intellectual and psychological process, becomes a subjective process, and different people may perceive the same environmental event differently based on what particular aspects of the situation they choose to absorb, how they organize this information, and the manner in which they interpret it to obtain the grasp of the situation. So perception is the intellectual psychological process become a subjective process which interpret the different environmental factors and the information also. So this is all about the perception. I again summarizes all the points so that you can easily understand about the topic. So perception is intellectual process by which person requires the information from the environment, organizes it, obtains the meaning from it. Perception refers to manner in which a person experiences the world. Perception is our way of knowing things and people according to our experiences. According to Joseph Ritz, perception includes all the processes by which individual receives information about environment, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, and smelling. It is a process of selecting, organizing, interpreting or attaching meaning of events happening in environment. And perception may be defined as a process by individual organize and interpret their sensory impressions according to S.P. Robbins. And Uday Parekh defines perception as the process of receiving, selecting, organizing, interpreting, checking, and reacting the sensory stimuli or data. The study of perception focuses on what we add or draw sensation in order to give them meaning. So it is the perception process includes exposure, attention, interpretation of the information according to environmental factors. Overall, it is the process of selecting, organizing, interpreting information. There are several features of perception based on the definitions, which includes perception intellectual process. It is cognitive and psychological process, as well as it is also intellectual and psychological process. So it is all about the perception. If you have any query about this topic, or if you want to know what another topic related to research methodology, business management, uh, business environment, or consumer behavior, you can ask me through comment box. If you like my video, please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel, which is Learning with Dr. Shivangi. We'll meet in the next video with new topic. Thank you everyone.